Imagine exploring a windy dirt road through the subtropical forest north of Jacksonville, Florida, and getting taken back 200 years in history. That's how I felt during a recent visit to the Kingsley Plantation, located northeast of Jacksonville, Florida. This deeply moving historical site, which is managed by the National Park Service, dates back to 1814, when a slave owner named Zephaniah Kingsley lived here while he oversaw the forced labor of over 60 African slaves. Indeed, this waterfront palm tree dotted land is beautiful, but its history is anything but. Born in 1765 in England, Zephaniah Kingsley was a slave owner that viewed the slave trade as a respectable business. Yet by slave owner standards, he was considered progressive. He believed African slaves deserved more respect and autonomy than was typical. But this was arguably only for his own selfish interests, as Kingsley commanded a higher price for slaves that were healthier and had more specialized skills, which in turn needed more of an investment than many slave owners cared to offer. In 1806, Kingsley purchased an enslaved girl named Anna, who was only 13 years old at the time. She was born in modern-day Senegal. Not long after Kingsley purchased her, he formally married Anna. Moving on, Kingsley and Anna raised 4 free and unenslaved children. This kick-started what was perhaps a fateful comeuppance for Kingsley. When Spain transferred Florida to the United States in 1821, his children were subjected to the same racism and societal oppression that Kingsley benefited from as a slave owner, losing admiration among slave owners in the United States and fearing that his marriage and family would be invalidated as a result of shifting politics towards freed slaves. Kingsley fled to Haiti, in an area that is now the modern-day Dominican Republic. There, Kingsley was able to start fresh and give his mixed-race children a more promising future. But this new life didn't last long. Much like many of the slaves he bought and sold, Kingsley ultimately died alone on a ship in 1843 during a trip from Haiti to New York City. Today, you can visit the Kingsley Plantation to see where Zephaniah, Anna, and their enslaved people lived. Since the main house is the original structure, it's only open a few hours per week, and many parts are still off limits. This real-life piece of history left me in awe when I visited, because as a person from California, it was my first time exploring this chapter of U.S. history in real life, rather than just reading about it in a textbook. But what moved me the most was when I toured the original, untouched ruins of the slave quarters at the Kingsley Plantation. This is where enslaved people were crammed in small, minimal shelters that stood in sharp contrast to the luxurious main house that Kingsley enjoyed. Since it was prohibited for slaves to partake in most non-work activities, there are nearly no records or evidence to teach us about who these enslaved people were. Sadly, their legacies are mostly lost to time as a result, making the slave quarters all the more important to tour so you can connect with their footsteps and spirits.